God. Hang on. Alright. Well, there's Legion.
Hello, everybody.
It's off to a good start. I don't know why I did that, so... let me just quickly fix this as well. First of all, welcome. Thank you for doing this for me as well. Doing this with me. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you for having me.
No worries. We've been talking, like I said, about this for a bit. I was going to say the one thing, though. So, how's it been in life being a wolf? I'm just curious.
You have no idea. It's the roughest thing.
Legion is more handsome than I thought he is as well. So, first of all, everyone, welcome to the very first SLS Wrestling Podcast. I'm Sugar Ray. Here's Legion. He's the co-host and that. Number one reason why we're getting into this as well is because we're both wrestling fans. We've actually been doing a lot of predictions for the last couple of years. Legion has won most of them. We're even going to have it where whoever wins the prediction as well will have a little wrestling belt above them. So currently it's Legion at the minute. So at the minute, because you won the last one by a point, didn't you?
I think so. I have to look it up again.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I suppose I probably should. Number one, I'll introduce myself. Most people know me as Sugar Ray. Been a huge gamer my whole life, but also I'm a very huge wrestling fan. Really started for me watching the 1990 pay-per-view with the double main event of Hulk Hogan and versus the Earthquake and the Ultimate Warrior defending the title against ravishing Rick Rude in a steel cage and that. So that's just my love for wrestling. That was like in the early 90s and it's just gone ever since, watching like in the 90s WCW, WWE, ECW, and that even in the 2000s with TNA coming up and even now with AEW coming up and that. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and there's some other things as well. Like I did go over a bit of New Japan as well, not too much in that because it's a bit just for me. I don't mind. I will say one thing as well. Like will be mainly an American wrestling thing. It's not that I enjoy the other wrestling things, but the amount of wrestling I have to cover is just too much for me. And that's yeah. Legion, you introduce yourself. Yeah.
Well, for all you guys out there, like just know me as Legion Prototype, but all my people who actually know me just call me Legion. When I was a kid, I was off and on wrestling fan. I didn't watch it as often as Sugar over here. But as I got older, I just faded away from the wrestling. But then, shortly after high school, I got back into it with a friend of mine who persuaded me to watch with him. And I was back in 06, I believe it was. It was right before the 2006 Royal Rumble. And I've been an avid wrestling fan since, and I try to get into other wrestling companies like TNA, AEW, things like that. I watch things like New Japan from time to time, but as Sugar said, we'll try to keep it American as best as possible to help him out.
There's also like if the NXT as well being hopefully they can get the UK brand of NXT up as well and that. But like I said, it's going to be mostly WWE. So Legion.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I know, right? They were supposed to do it last year, and we've heard nothing since, and that. So
I just heard rumors of because it was rumors of Will Ospreay supposed to come to NXT. So
yeah.
We'll get into that another time.
How you going as well, Charlie? There's no followers or anything like that on at the minute as well. Turn them off as well. So, Legion, I would like to know. We'll go. I've got 4 questions for you. Your favorite male, favorite female wrestler, favorite match of all time, and favorite pay-per-view. Just start with your favorite male wrestler for me, please.
My favorite male. Well, I've told you this before countless times, but I'll read it for everybody. It's Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, my all-time favorite.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah, because he revitalized the industry back in the 90s.
Yep.
With the whole, of course, when he went turned heel on Marty Jannetty and formed DX and all that.
It's a really good one. All right, go your female. Who's your favorite female? And it can be of all time or at the minute and that. But yeah, just go your favorite female wrestler?
I actually went to deep thought on this one, and I have to. My personal favorite is, of course, AJ Lee. She revolutionized the female industry back in the back was it early 2000s,
Yep.
like late no 20 teens,
Yeah.
20 teens, I think
Yeah.
it was.
Hmm.
Late 2000s, 20 teens, something like that.
Yeah.
She revolutionized it into what it is, started into what it is today.
It's a couple of good
In
choices
my
so
opinion.
far. Yeah, that's really some good choices in it. Do you have a what's your favorite match of all time as well?
That one's actually the toughest one I had to look forward to. I would have to say the triple threat match at Survivor Series. It was John Cena versus Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Okay. I have very rarely heard that match as your favorite match. I'm curious why that's your favorite match.
It was the most unique match, in my opinion, for Cena as a champion, going against the most revolutionized team in WWE at the time. Because Triple H being that pretty much in his prime, and Shawn Michaels nearing the end of his career at the same time, and it's like facing off against them two, and to come out on top was just amazing.
Out of all the matches I've heard people say and all that, I very rarely hear that. That's actually, I remember it was the start of the match as well when like they're all facing each other and Shawn super kicks Triple H and they all and like John Cena looks shocked and that and Shawn
The
is
funny
just
thing
there.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, I apologize.
No,
I'm
that's
saying what the funny thing is what that says, like that right there, a lot of people did not see that coming. They expected a handicap match of sorts, but they did not expect Shawn Michaels to turn on Triple H
Yeah.
at the opening bell.
I mean, earlier in the night there was the Taker Jericho Big Show match, and like that's when Jericho and Big Show were Jerry Show as well. One of the most underrated teams ever. I will say that
Oh, that's right.
as
They
well.
were, it was pretty much Jericho versus Taker for the
Yeah,
world
and it
title,
was a
wasn't it?
handicap. Yeah, I could see why you could think that match will actually go there. All right, and lucky last, your favorite pay per view if you have one, and that. So
I kind of fibbed a little bit earlier in my introduction. It wasn't the 2006 Royal Rumble, it was 2007 Royal Rumbles when I first
okay,
started, and that's the one, that's actually the one I liked the most because that was the year that Taker actually won the Royal Rumble, the first and only time, and that was the first and only time a entrant at number 30 won the Royal Rumble at that time.
we
It was like
will.
those actually been like what three or four winners since then.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt as well. In that we will do in a later podcast as well. We'll do our favorite top 10 wrestlers because I actually finished my list in that. So if you can do your favorite top 10 male and female, if you can, and that like we won't do it for another. I don't know. Maybe wait for the middle of the year and that. So those are some really good things. Would you like me to hear my favorite wrestlers of all time? And that.
Yeah, what I'll pretty much back it at you now with this. So what is I'll start with you. Is like what is your favorite male wrestler of all time?
All time, I know it's going to be the obvious choice in that, but it really is. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Nothing compares to him. Like people will say he saved WWE and that, and he probably did as well. I know there's some other people that did, but when WCW was kicking the shit out of WWE in '97 and that, you could see the likes of Austin, and I'm just trying to think of other names, but like he just started to grow as a wrestler and that. And it's unfortunate that he had that neck injury in the SummerSlam in '97, because if he didn't, he would have been probably maybe even 10 times better in that. So, but yeah, he is my favorite male wrestler of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I could sit here and talk to you a lot as that, but yeah, he is my favorite male. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal choice. It's typical, yeah, because it's known all the time, but that's a really good choice. Very,
Yeah.
very, very good.
Hmm.
What about your favorite female of all time?
I will say it's Lita, but I will say Rhea Ripley is coming really, and I know with the words giggity, is rising up the ranks really fast. Lita just when she burst on the scene in 2000, she was really great, and that. But Rhea Ripley, number one, she's Aussie, so she's automatically amazing, and that. But just her development, her growth over the last couple of years, and the fact she's only 27. She will be my favourite female wrestler of all time by the end of her career. But currently it's just Lita. Just the matches she had as well. You know, when her and Trish main evented Raw in 2004, I think it was just really great to see. them. I think it might have been earlier. I can't remember when they main event, but it was just good to see just the female wrestlers like that main event and that. So she is probably my favorite wrestler of all time as well, Lita and that. So yeah.
I'm a little surprised on that one, but that's okay.
I know
What
there's
match?
standard issue people could have gone with Trish, or I'm just trying to think other female. AJ Lee is another one. We could go the four horsewomen, Charlotte, Sasha, all them. But for me, like when I was fully into wrestling, I still am fully into wrestling, but with in 2000, like it was just Lita, just for me. Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. You're 100% good. What about your match? Your favorite match?
Well, it involves Steve Austin. It was I had to think long and hard about this one as well. I could have gone like. I'm surprised when you say in your favorite matches you didn't go Taker and Shawn at 25 and that. But anyway, that's for me. It's Shawn. It's Steve Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, the submission match. Just with what Bret did for Steve, is to put him over that big as well. Even though Bret won the match, I think Steve Austin came out better than Bret after that. It was just an incredible match as well, submission match. And the double turn. Was that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm sorry, you answered my question by saying that.
Yeah, the double turn that has very rarely been perfected since, and that I think it's only been done 3 or 4 times in that. But yeah, that's probably my favorite match of all time.
That?
Yep.
Well, to be honest, I completely spaced out of my memory. I don't know why. I was trying to think of a lot of matches, and that one wasn't one of them.
I've written down all my favorite matches, so yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't. I'll admit that wasn't amazing. I remember watching because I remember I had to go back and watch it when I started watching wrestling again. That was an amazing match.
Really for the time as well. Like that WrestleMania was probably not the best WrestleMania, but that match probably nearly saved the show as well. So yeah.
And in my opinion, saved both their careers. I think.
Yeah, probably as well. Yeah.
But still, phenomenal choice.
Yep. Cool.
What about your favorite PvP pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view, even though they're now called premium live events or whatever. Favorite pay-per-view, even though the ending of the pay-per-view was not good, WrestleMania 17, and that. All in all, there is not really a bad match on that thing. I will say the only downer is the Austin turn at the end on The Rock, and that. If they could redo it again, I would just have Austin stun McMahon as well. And because The Rock was going away, let's be honest, and that to shoot the Scorpion King, so they needed a strong face, and that could have been Austin, and said it was a heel, and that it was something they tried different, and I don't think it worked. But that's my favourite pay-per-view of all time. I could really go into all the matches, the Intercontinental title match between Jericho and Regal was really good. Even the European title match between Test and Eddie Guerrero, Viva la Lasa. Even that was really good. Like, I could go through the whole match. And how am I missing out on TLC? Like, jeez. Yeah, so that's my favourite pay-per-view. But anyway, that's enough about me and you. I think we need to get into the news. So, here is Legion with the news! Wrong way. There you go. So, what's making news there, Legion?
I'm going to start off with the most recent one that's everybody probably heard about, is the recent injury of Seth Rollins. If you don't know, he suffered a grade 2 tear of his MCL and a torn meniscus. I hope I said that one right.
You did.
All right, and apparently he's going to have surgery to repair it, and it's going to take 3 to 4 months out of action. But, that isn't a very serious injury, especially during this time of the year, with WrestleMania right around the corner.
It's 3 to 4 months has him beyond WrestleMania. I think it has him beyond Backlash, and that for him, it was very innocuous as well. It was just like a moonsault, and he just landed like he's done it 1,000 times and it just landed wrong on his knee.
It was the same thing. It was the same thing with that powerbomb he used to do back in the day in the corner. Like when he used to flip down and he'd do the powerbomb to him.
Yeah.
And how he blew out his knee. That he did that like 1,000 times. but he did that during a live event.
It's yeah. Do you think it's the right call that they could have gone so many ways with that, with the Rollins injury, and that like they could have had the winner of the Rumble be the world heavyweight champion, or a tournament after the Rumble. Like, do you think it's the right way? Like, I think Seth is an amazing wrestler, and that for him to say he will be back, we've seen the likes of John Cena, who was supposed to be out for 9 months with a pec injury and came back in 4 months. So I'm not saying pec is probably a bit different than the knee, and that because he'll be using a lot of his knee walking and doing and the agility in that. Do you think he'll actually appear at Mania in the match whoever he faces? So
with Seth Rollins' adrenaline, the way he does things, I think he will show up. Because he's up, I got really a lot better over the years, and I've become a huge fan of his since his heel turn against the Shield back in the day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I really and to answer your question was this the right call? In my opinion, yes. I don't think it was time for Damien to cash in yet. I don't think it's time for him to cash in.
I don't think Damien is going to cash in till I'll probably spoil when we do the rest of it. I think he will cash in at Mania. I know it's been done before, but I think he will, and I will explain that later on. And that's I've already got my WrestleMania predictions from the matches I've heard and that. But yeah, so
yep. Me and you might have the same one in mind. We haven't discussed it yet. Just heads up, we have not discussed it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But having the title defended in the Royal Rumble, that kind of thing has been done before. We need something new. So
yeah, the thing is, they did do a Flair. This is when they vacated the WWE title in '92, and Roman did do it, but he was defending the title. So, I think it's the right call as well. Can you imagine a tournament the one thing that I've loved about AEW, the one thing that I've really loved about AEW is the Continental Classic that they had. Can you imagine a style of that? They could do the normal tournament or a style like that. It would have been really good. That's just me, but I think ultimately, since Seth has won the world title and that he's been basically, carrying Raw as well, so I think see if he can. If not, they might go a different way with the that. So yeah. So what else is making news there, Legion?
The next thing is not that not as big as that one, but it's about Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks, if people know her better as that.
Yeah.
There's rumors of her signing with AEW. I'm getting that information from Ringside News, and because apparently her talks with WWE have fallen out, apparently because of the whole money issues.
This is I heard this as well. I got a question. I'm sorry to interrupt you as well. She was apparently wanting more money than Charlotte Flair. Now, I'm going to give. I'd like to hear your opinion. Then I'm going to give my opinion on it. Do you think she is worth more than Charlotte Flair? Because I think Sasha Banks is amazing, but no, I'm sorry. That is just my. I'll go into more about how I feel about it. But what do you think? Do you think she has the right to ask for more money? And there's a thing of knowing your worth. But what do you think, Legion?
To be completely frank and honest about all this, I do not think she's worth that much, worth more than Charlotte Flair's contract. And yeah, there's been a lot of heat on Charlotte, but she has proven her worth within the industry.
Yeah,
Sasha has not so much. In the ring, she's amazing. Do not get me wrong, she's amazing in the ring, but she has a lot of baggage, if that makes any sense. Meaning, she carries a lot of heat with her.
Yeah.
People don't have a thing against her behind the scenes.
Yeah. The thing with me as well is she left. For whatever reason, she left as well. She was in support of Naomi. I think it was either Naomi supporting Sasha or the other way around with the how the WWE female women's tag team titles were, and that you just don't leave a company then come back and ask for more money, and that she should be. she should be thankful that the WWE were actually talking to her and wanting to bring her back. It might have been from the bottom up again, but it's. I just don't think you should be able to leave a company for whatever reasons, if it's the right reasons or the wrong reasons. If I was to leave like a company and then go, oh, by the way, I want to come back and work for the company, I'll be starting up from the bottom. I know WWE, I know wrestling is different, but it's. I just don't think that she. I actually think AEW would be a more. I mean, for my opinion, both women's divisions in both AEW and WWE have been pretty flat, and that I will say that. There'd be I'm going to call out both WWE and that if they're doing something I don't like as well, because that's just my opinion as well. It comes down to my opinion compared to someone else's and that. So, I hope she comes back to WWE because I've always wanted for a WrestleMania match the 4 horsewomen of the WWE versus the 4 horsewomen of MMA and that. I know Ronda is gone as well and probably won't come back to the WWE, but that would have been a dream match they missed out on and I think could have been done really well in that. So, yeah. Yeah.
I just want to add one last thing that I just popped in my head. I think the only main reason Paul Levesque or Triple H, as everybody knows him by, reached out is due to Bayley.
Yeah.
Them being best friends, and I think she wants her back.
Yeah, there was the picture of the TNA rebirth as well, that they were both there, and that it was really cool. And that I'm glad people can be friends from different companies as well. And that I really hope to God that she does come back to WWE one day. But if she wants to go to AEW and maybe hopefully improve the women division there, go for it. I feel like, and that so. And if AEW are willing to pay more money than WWE, then like. You or me, like, if we had 2 companies, going for us, like, we'd probably go for the highest, what would make more money in that. So that's just us. So, yeah. Anyway, what else is making news?
All right. I have 2 more things, but do I have time for both or just one?
You have time for both. You have a lot of time for both. We have, yeah.
Okay.
You go for it.
Okay. The next one I want to talk about is one of the more interesting topics of Dolph Ziggler making his debut. I wouldn't say in-ring debut, but his debut into TNA wrestling, or as he's now known as Nick Nemeth. Is it Nemeth or Nameth?
Yeah, it's Nemeth. I think is the correct. Don't come to me to pronunciations. I butcher a lot of things in that, but yeah, I think it's just say Nick and that. So
okay, that works.
Yeah, I think it's the right call for him because he was getting a bit stale in WWE and that. And there was even an interview which I was trying to find as well where he's saying he's just happy putting over young guys in WWE. I thought, God, that's not going to... You lose motivation if you're... Like, I know putting over the young guys would be good for him in that. And he's the type of person that could do it really well. It's probably one of the best seller of moves I've ever seen in my life in that. But... he's just too much of a wasted talent in WWE to be in the mid-card and that. Like, I think all the matches are going to... Oh, and by the way, I really like that TNA is back as well. Like, Impact... I've been watching, like... Impact was really one of my favourite little secret loves as well, back in the day when I was actually watching TNA when it first came out. I remember I started watching TNA in 2006 when Christian was over there and Sting and all that stuff. Probably they even had a better roster than WWE at that time. And they probably had the better matches from probably about 2006, maybe 7 to 2009 and that. But I think Dolph will work really well there. He's got guys like he could go against like Moose, Alex Shelley, Josh Alexander. I'd like to see that match. Trying to think of other guys as well in TNA. Eddie Edwards. There's a lot of really good guys in that he could go against. So I really, and he might be there for a couple of years because the grind of WWE as well. Like they're on the road 300 days a year. That would take it out of you after how long has he been there now for? Since 2007, I think, maybe 6, when he was in the Spirit Squad, maybe earlier. And that's it takes its time out of it. It takes its toll on you, going to city and that. So if he wants to be with AEW, who have TNA, sorry. If he wants to be in TNA, that have a bit of a lighter schedule, and that good on him. I think I'm really wanting, Dolph to do well in TNA and hopefully win the title. And that's so. I think he might actually win the title this year. And that's so.
I don't know. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I don't know if many people caught this when he changed his name to Nick, is he went back to his original name. If you think about it, if you caught that, because when he was in Spirit Squad, he was known as Nicky.
Yeah, Nicky. Yeah.
But he just dropped the key.
Yeah,
he's just Nick.
It's another thing as well, which we could probably talk about how wrestlers. I don't think wrestlers should ever use their names in any promotions and that, because then it's the, who owns the name and that. Like, I think any wrestler should have to make up a new name and that. So, and catchy. What was it? Steve Austin was going to be called Chili McFrost or something like that back in the day when they were giving out names for him. So maybe not as bad as that, but yeah.
I never heard that one.
It's one of might have been Frosty McFreeze or something like that. He had a list of names when he was like just Steve, the ringmaster, and they thought, "Oh, right, you want to be that?" And yeah, that's another story. All right, I know we have one more news item that we're going to talk about before we get into our predictions.
Yeah, this was the last one. I don't know if many people heard this, or maybe you have. Is recently SmackDown commentator Kevin Patrick has been. Been taken off the commentary table? I don't know if he's been let go from the company or if he just gotten taken off the commentary table.
He hasn't been taken. We haven't. We're filming this ahead of SmackDown, so we think he'll still be on SmackDown and that. But it says in the near future they're going to be taking him off and that. Like, I think he's been doing an excellent job on SmackDown. Just me personally, I know there have been other people that haven't been happy with how he exasperates when he's in shock and that, but like, who else can they get on SmackDown as well? Like, I think Michael Cole since about early 2020 has been the standout commentator for me and that. But I don't want to see him on both shows. I want to see Michael on one show and then someone else on the other. So that. I don't know if there's anyone else in WWE that can maybe do the SmackDown commentary and that. So I don't know if you have anyone you think of.
Not anybody on WWE right now, but I think me and you agreed on this in the past. Is if they brought Mauro and Ranallo back, he would make, because him and Corey Graves make an excellent duo.
They really do as well. It's the thing with Mauro as well. I'm probably butchering his name. I apologize. As well, it's more for his health and that. I know the reasons why he left WWE, and that's how he was treated was BS and that. So and that if he was to be, I think it's moved on a bit since then, and I think Triple H can provide a safe environment for him to commentate. But it all depends on Mauro as well. So there are other people, like even in TNA, like the former, I don't know what his name, I forget his name now in TNA, but the former Tom Phillips, they should really try and get him back as well. I thought he was an excellent commentator, Tom Phillips, as well. I think they might...
I completely forgot about him.
Yeah. They might even move him to NXT. I don't know how him and Booker T would go as a team, and bring up the NXT commentator, whose name I'm forgetting. I think it's Vic, is it? God. Is it Vic?
Vic something.
Let me quickly have a look in that. Oh yeah, NXT commentator. NXT commentator. He was really good in NXT. Vic Joseph was the name. I knew I had the Vic.
Thank you.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to look for. It didn't pop up.
Geez, just hang on. Missed you. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Like I said, this will be a trying out period. I clicked off Discord, and that's why you left. And that. So he's back. It's fine, guys. I know you want to look at him because he is very beautiful, and that's so more beautiful than me to look at as well. So, but yeah,
I am edible.
Even Vic Joseph, like, I don't know how. I don't know who else, like Brian Saxton, as I've never really enjoyed him as a commentator. he's a good interviewer, but just not a commentator and that. So I hope that they don't go the way of that baseball commentator not baseball commentator. Yeah, there's a baseball. They tried a baseball commentator, then an M&A commentator, and those quite didn't work out as well. So it's hard to distinguish wrestling commentators from others because you got to know so much in that. So hopefully they find the right mix. I think Corey Graves is a really good heelish commentator, as they like to try and get as well. Like Wade Barrett and Michael Cole on Raw are amazing. That's all I can say. Like I had a bit of I didn't think Wade would actually be a good color commentator, heelish commentator, but he's actually turned out really good, and I'm glad that he's back with the WWE. And anyway, there's the news with Legion. All right. Rightio, so let's get on to our pay-per-view predictions as well. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I was like, wow, the crickets are very quiet today.
There should have actually. I got crickets, but I don't want to add it as well, so because I'm worried that you'll go again. So, the Royal Rumble is the first pay-per-view. It's probably, like I said to you before, it's probably my favorite pay-per-view, just with all the surprises that can happen as well. Like, you know, just trying to think what's been the most recent surprise was Edge in, I think, 2020. Like, I was watching it live and I went, no way. And I was like, you saw people in the crowd crying for his return and that. So I was really happy for that. And there's been others like John Cena as well. So
I think Edge made a huge impact on a lot of people's lives, I believe. Same with Cena.
Yeah. That was unfortunate. That was the day that Kobe passed away as well. So I think people needed that. It came at the right time as well. So anyway, let's get into the matches. There are only 4 matches here at the minute. If there are any other matches added on SmackDown, which is happening in a couple of days, we will update our predictions and that, and put them in the Discord and all that stuff. So, but yeah, the first match I want to talk about is the US title match between Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. I think there's rumors that Kevin hasn't signed another contract yet as well. So,
I have heard that too.
Yeah, I think this will be a really good match, but I don't see Logan losing. I see him losing it at Mania, and that the fact that he's been taking the title on has been great publicity and that. But the number one thing that I'm getting really sick of is, you know, these champions that don't wrestle and that. Like, this is another discussion we have, you know, for another time in that. But the fact that we got Roman on SmackDown, who it's worked for the character, him not wrestling too often and that. But now we got Logan Paul, who I will say has probably been one of the best celebrity wrestlers to adapt to wrestling and that. Him and Bad Bunny are the two that come to mind and that, and even Lawrence Taylor back in the day when he wrestled. But you need to have your champions wrestling at least, you know, defending the title once a month, and he hasn't defended it since he won it in November, and that we're that's nearly 3 months ago. So
this is where I slightly differ from this topic about having champions defend.
Yeah,
but Logan there's a difference between him and Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
Reigns just vanishes. Nobody see him for probably months. But Logan Paul, he's all over social media, doing interviews, everything, with the U.S. title. He's promoting the U.S. title further than anybody else actually has in recent years, outside of John Cena. And that's very good for that title. I mean, and plus it gets eyes on the product.
Yep.
And that's very, very good.
Yep. I don't want to get it to... I'm just trying to think how I'm going to put this as well. Like, it's I don't want the title defend. Like, I don't want to go like the 24/7 title defended every night in that. So, but it's So who have you got, and for how many points and why?
I have Logan Paul winning, of course.
Yeah.
Because I just think this is just a filler match getting ready for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And nothing against Kevin Owens. He's probably one of the greatest on the roster. But like you said, there's nothing here about his contract being renewed yet, so I don't see him taking the title off. And I only put 1 point onto this.
Only 1 point.
Yeah.
Wow, I am shocked at that. Holy, wow! I thought we were going to be similar on this. Like, I have Logan Paul as well, but I have him for 4 points. You know, because there's only 4 matches. Okay. I think it's a lock. Like, wow. So you got one. Wow. Yeah. What?
It's just.
Yeah. Go on.
I have a weird strategy going on when it comes to Royal Rumble time. Like, just like last year, I threw in all my chips, and I'm doing that once again this year. Because last year, I put... Because, yeah, Alexa Bliss was in the title picture against... Was it Asuka?
Yeah.
And I had her entering the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, you did too. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
And I pretty much thought outside the box, and I failed. This time, like I said, I'm going to do my chips again, but I'm not doing outside the box. I'm staying within the box a little bit, but I'm being more aggressive this time around.
Okay. Rightio. Wow. Okay. Wow. I agree. I don't think Logan Paul is losing the US title. I think he's appearing at the Elimination Chamber in Australia as well, but I don't see him losing it to till WrestleMania, and we will probably talk about it, but I think we already know who he's losing it to. Yeah. Anyway, that's another thing. Yes. Yeah. So you got him for 1, I got him for 4. Okay, all right. So let's go to the... Well, this is the thing. They call it now the WWE Universal title, just the WWE Championship. We have a fatal 4-way for the match. Roman Reigns will defend his title against Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and the man we were just talking about, LA Knight. This, since Orton has come back, he looks better than ever in that. Like, a lot of people talk about when Orton came back, CM Punk overshadowed it, but I think Orton is the type of person that wouldn't have minded that as well, because he understands the business, because he's been a third-generation superstar in that. So, were you expecting to see a Fatal 4? I was expecting to see a triple threat, personally, and that...
To be fair, I actually was predicting a Fatal 4. Actually, I did predict a Fatal 4-way, if you remember.
Yeah.
I did state it to you. It's probably going to turn into a Fatal 4-way, because I just have a feeling, and it did.
With the triple threat match they had, like, they could have gone a double pin and that, but it probably does make a bit more sense of this Fatal 4-way, because I don't think they could have done Roman versus AJ. I will say the AJ character turn as well, like he's turning a bit more heelish, I really enjoy as well. Yeah, and I don't see like them and LA Knight again unless they put a stipulation on the match, but he's done a lot of stipulation matches at the Rumble as well. So, do I need to ask, who have you got and why for this match?
I'm going to go down a little list real fast.
Yep, okay.
As much as I'm a huge LA Knight fan, as much as anybody else, I did not pick him. But I do not think he needs a title to define who he is. He's already like skyrocketed to the freaking moon in popularity.
Yep.
He doesn't need a title right now to define him.
Yep.
AJ, I don't think he needs a title just yet. Especially in his current persona, he needs to build up the persona a little more before he gets like a world title around his waist, or any title around his waist.
Mm-hmm.
Now I wanted to go down to my original pick, who I wanted to win this one, but I don't.
Before we start, this is not your pick. This is the pick you originally had.
Yes, okay, I had a hard time choosing between these two.
Yep.
I was originally going to pick Randy Orton to win this because I wanted to go. I'll talk about this later as to why I was going to choose him. I could probably do it the next time, but it's a long story. but and we don't have time for that. But as much as I wanted him to win, I have Roman down to win this.
How many points do you have for it?
4 points. 4 points.
So this is your lock as well. Like,
this is my lock.
This is your lock. Yeah, I had I don't see. Can you imagine if Roman lost the title before Mania? He's had the title now for what? Nearly 3 years? Over 3 years? 4 years? Wait, we're into the.
It's been over 3 years.
Yeah, it's 2020. He won the Universal title, and that the WWE title he won in 2022, and that. But it's nearly 4 years as a champion. He's going to lose it at the Rumble. No, we could go into. I know we've had discussions on this where and other people as well with whether Cody should finish the story. I think he should finish the story in that. So, but I could have seen Orton winning. I couldn't have seen I think the reason AJ and LA Knight are in the match, one of them is getting the pin, and I think personally, AJ will probably get the pin. Will be pinned by Roman, and that I have Roman for 3 points as well. So yeah, I don't see Roman losing the title to Mania. Hopefully to Cody, but that's another thing we can get onto as well. So, rightio. So let's go with the Women's Royal Rumble. I wish I had a list. There's only 6 participants announced at this time. Surely on SmackDown they'll announce probably a bit more in that. This is probably... Last year was wide. I see this being wide open as well. I can see about 3 or 4 people winning, depending how they want to go with it as well. But I'll get your final 4 and then your winner, so we can go over why you're having as a final 4. So let me have a list of your final 4 there, Legion.
My final 4 would be Bayley.
Yep.
Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Nia Jax.
Yep.
And Shayna Baszler as my final 4.
Ooh, Shayna. Nice.
She has been doing really well on the roster so far. Teaming up with I'm brain farting right now.
Zoe.
Thank you, Zoe.
Yeah.
And they've been on fire. And I see Shayna being at least to the final 4.
That's
I do not see.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I'll say I don't see Shayna winning, in my eyes. Not yet. I don't see her winning a Rumble anytime soon in the near future. Leaving the 3 that's it was a hard choice between these 3, between Bayley, Becky Lynch, and Nia Jax. Nia, she has, I'll say this, improved since she was last in WWE.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm actually I'm enjoying the content she's giving.
Yep. I
like the new theme they gave for her.
Yeah, yeah. It's better than Carlito's new theme that you got. I just can't get behind that theme.
Oh, yeah. I want his original one back.
That's a different story, but yeah, I actually agree with you. Yeah. Yep.
But I do not see Nia winning. I see, like, of course, Becky and Bayley teaming up to get rid of her after what she did to both of them on Raw.
Yep.
Now leaving Becky and Bayley. Now between these 2, it was a hard choice for the end. It was a very hard choice because everybody was, I want Becky to win. I want her to go face against Rhea Ripley. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
That's still gonna happen.
Yep.
One way or another.
Mm-hmm.
That's still gonna happen. So I have Bayley to win this.
And how many points have you got Bayley winning?
I got 3 points.
3 points for Bayley winning. Wow. Okay.
And can I give a little thing before you get into yours?
Yeah, you can go right ahead, good sir. Go right ahead.
I have like a couple of like surprise predictions for this.
Are we doing
that's the reason why I chose Bayley for this.
Are we doing the surprise predictions? Okay, right, go for it. Yeah, give me your...
No, mainly for the female side of it. Anyway.
Yeah, for the female side. Yep, give me your 3 surprise. Yep.
I have, of course, the surprise return of Alexa Bliss. Probably maybe a one night only for AJ Lee coming back. And a returning Dakota Kai.
Oh, okay.
To in-ring action.
Okay. She did a knee. When did she do a knee? I forget when she did a...
That was like almost a year. It was almost a year ago.
Almost a year ago. Yeah, she might be close to coming back as well. Okay. Rightio. Well, I've gone nearly 3 out of the 4 as well. I agree with you. I agree. The final 4 is going to be Nia Jax, Bayley, Becky Lynch. And then I was struggling. I think Shayna is a good thing, but I thought they try and have, even Raw and SmackDown as 2. So I had Bianca Belair as my 4th person. So I don't see Bianca winning. I think this is she held the title for last Mania. I don't know. I don't have her in the main title match. I have her maybe as a showcase match at Mania at the minute, but I don't have her winning. Same with Nia Jax. I know Nia Jax has a lot of haters and all that stuff, but I actually think she's improved as well. And that's all you want to see. You want to see improvement with these guys. It's unfortunate that I'm going off topic a bit as well. The likes of Gabriel Stevenson has not improved in that, and now is he's actually wrestling, but they're just booing him, and that like he's actually playing as a heel and that. So hopefully he can find his thing in that. And like you, I had the final two as Bayley and Becky Lynch, and I can't believe we're the same. I have Bayley winning. I really do have Bayley winning. Yeah,
that's actually a first.
I know. I have Becky Lynch winning the Elimination Chamber, and that at the minute. But I think with the way that the Damage Control story is going, I think Bayley winning will ultimately they'll go to the SmackDown, and then that's when Dakota Cole will be revealed as the mastermind behind Damage Control, and they'll turn on her and that. So I when you were reading that, I just said, wow, we've gone exactly the same and that. So yeah. Okay, so my three predictions. These are not for points as well. These are the three. I do agree with you on AJ Lee. I think she will make a one-night return. I also having returning for a one-night return as well, Michelle McCool as well, because with the Undertaker being so big as well, like I think she's like appeared the last couple of years, so I think she'll appear again.
Okay.
And then my third as well, I've heard a bit of a story as well. She recently lost the title in TNA. I think Naomi will return for one night or for a full-on return. Who knows? But I think Naomi will return in the Rumble as well. So
I've heard those rumors too that she might appear.
Yeah. So those are my three women as well. But wow, those are some great. I can't believe how close. Oh, and I got Bayley for 2 points as well. So Bayley for 2. Oh. So you had Bayley for 3. I have it for 2 on that. So all right. Now then. The Men's Royal Rumble. We could go for this for a long time, and I feel like we might have to go for a bit in that. I can see 7 winners here at the minute, and I don't want to get into the winners, but there is the people we're all thinking, and that there can be some others. The likes of Drew McIntyre could win. They could do something with Damian Priest, where he has the Money in the Bank and a guaranteed title shot.
He'll be the first Money in the Bank holder to win.
Yeah. It's like WWE, like they do like their first as well, so like that's as well but I just see this as the most unpredictable. I know people are probably thinking when it comes down to it, there's only 2 winners, but I can actually see like 7 or 8, and that if we were to really get into the story, we're hardcore wrestling fans, so we like to have as many winners as we can, and that's so. Legion, I'll get your final 4 and your winner.
Okay. My final 4 is the first one is probably predictable, or first 2 part a little predictable. One is CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. I don't know why I said his name like that. And then the last 2 are Gunther and Drew McIntyre. So this one was a very hard one to choose. Very, very hard to choose. So I have I wanted to go with Drew, but I don't see him winning again. I see him being eliminated.
That's another way they could have gone as well. Drew McIntyre, like I've loved the character change. Like it's reminiscent of Bret Hart in 96, 97 when it was not his fault, it was everyone else's fault. Like it's been brilliant. Like Drew has needed a he's not really heel, he's not really face, he's more of a tween, as we call it, in between. He's both a face and a heel, and it's been amazing in that. So
yeah, he is looks like he's a master at it now. Yeah, it's just this persona is perfect. Yeah, and I'm gonna end with the last 3, of course, with Cody, Punk, and Gunther.
Yep.
I see both Cody and freaking Punk eliminating Gunther after a freaking. That's how I see things. I don't see Gunther winning it yet. Gunther is amazing. Don't get me wrong. He's like one of the best in the ring so far. Probably the best Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Had CM Punk not returned at Survivor Series, I was nearly pushing for him versus Seth at Mania, and they teased the interaction on Raw this week as well with him and Seth, and I think this is another first they could have done as well. WWE, they could have Gunther win the World Heavyweight title. I don't think he'll win it. I don't think he would have. I think he's actually going to win it this year at Bash at Berlin. That's in September. I think that'll be the crowning of Gunther as a champion. Either the World Heavyweight Champion or the WWE Champion, whichever one they want to do it. And that. But can you imagine him winning the Intercontinental title for the first time, having the longest reign, and then not getting defeated for it? Because we could have done a thing where, if you remember the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan,
yeah,
we're both WWE Champion, Intercontinental Champion, and Ultimate Warrior won the title and then gave up the Intercontinental title. Can you imagine if they did that with Gunther, and like he would have never been defeated for the Intercontinental title, and then could have had another reign like in a couple of years and continue on, and that like it's a good first they could have done, and that so you got him being eliminated third as well. So who's your winner, Cody or Punk?
I have CM Punk winning the match for this one.
Yeah.
I want Cody to win it, but I don't see him doing it back to back. And this will be Punk's first Rumble win, right?
Yep.
Yeah. This is his first Rumble win, moving on to WrestleMania into the main event to what he wanted.
Yep.
And it knocks and pretty much puts Cody into a what I like to call like a Shawn Michaels phase. When he was when Shawn was being denied Undertaker in towards his final match.
That's actually I like that comparison. That's really good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I see that happening with Cody going into WrestleMania, pretty much wanting to finish his story.
Yep.
But Punk is finishing what he said, finishing what he started, is wanting to main event WrestleMania, and I see that happening this year with him.
I'm a huge fan of, like, I know I said Steve Austin was my favorite wrestler of all time, but CM Punk is second, and that it's a bit weird that we're cheering for Punk to win the Rumble when all those years ago when Batista came back, we didn't want him winning the Rumble because he was a part-timer, and I know it's probably a bit different story, but it's I don't know. This is my thinking on it. Yeah, go ahead.
Here the thing was with Batista, it had nothing to do with Batista returning. It was the fact that Daniel Bryan was red hot at that time.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Everybody wanted him to win, and then when they had him eliminated and Batista winning it, everybody was really sour about that. Not because Batista winning it, is because what WWE did with Daniel Bryan.
I think it was more.
That's what it was.
I think it was more as well as because he hadn't wrestled for 3 or 4 years at that time. I forget, and then he comes in and just gets the automatic win, and he was supposed to win the title at Mania. That's the thing. Like, it's I'm just trying not to be a hypocrite on this. I actually like the fact that CM Punk will probably hopefully win. Who knows? Like they might do a swerve. We don't know with WWE. All right, so you got CM Punk winning.
I had a hard I had a hard choice with Cody and Punk. I had a very hard choice between those two.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yep. All right.
And I have that down for 2 points.
2 points as well. So I'll get your surprise entrance for the male side as well. Who have you got?
All right. For the first one is, of course, an anticipated return of Big E.
Ooh. Okay.
The next one is because there's a lot of rumors about his contract. Nobody knows the details about it or not. Is MJF.
Okay. Wow. You've just gone for the jugular here. Wow. I like that. Yeah.
And the last one has been rumored for past week now, since his contract expired.
Yep.
Is Okada.
Wow. Okay. Jeez. That would make, if those three would, like, if those, no offense to Big, I love Big E and I hope he gets back into wrestling, but MJF, can you imagine an MJF CM Punk confrontation in the Rumble if it wasn't happening? You saw my face.
No,
you saw my face in CM Punk.
They already did that thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they had a face-to-face back in AEW. Like you said, imagine it in WWE.
The thing is,
in the
though,
Rumble, out of all things.
the thing is, though, the casual WWE fan probably wouldn't know who MJF is as well, so that's another thing they need to think. But those are 3 surprises. I was not expecting. In fact, I thought we were going to be same on at least one of them. We haven't been same on other ones. So, all right. So you got CM Punk for 1 point as well. So,
2 points.
2 points. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, once again, it's like the Women's Rumble. We got 3 out of the 4 as well. I do see the last. I see Cody and Gunther being 1 and 2 and lasting to the end. I don't know if you think that'll happen, but I've made a prediction as well that they'll be 1 and 2. I think the final 4 will be CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Brock Lesnar.
Brock returning during the Rumble?
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be returning soon because he's supposed to be. The rumor is he's supposed to be having a match with Gunther that I definitely want to see as a match because I think it'll be an amazing match.
If we have time, I want to talk about Brock after we're done here. If we have time.
Yeah, we'll make time in that. So, yeah, I just see like they obviously want the Gunther Brock. I actually see both of them eliminating each other, and this is how we get to the match at Mania as well. So they would eliminate each other, and then they would come down to Cody and Punk again. And once again, we've gone the same. I've gone CM Punk. I think they're going to make it a struggle for Cody if they want to do Cody finishing the story at Mania but I think he'll need to win the Elimination Chamber here in Australia for him to have his title match. I think Punk is going to win and then choose Seth as his opponent. And then this is going to be off the cuff. Like the Elimination Chamber, who are your 6 you see in there? I see LA Knight, AJ, Orton, Cody, and then we just need 2 more. Maybe they'll do some from Raw as well. Maybe Jey Uso will come in and get screwed by Jimmy, and that maybe Solo Sikoa. Who knows? I know it's a bit off the topic and a bit out of mind, but I see at least Orton, AJ, Knight, and Rhodes. I see them as the 4 in the chamber, and that maybe have a young up and coming star that they want to try out in that. But I don't know if you have any that you might think of quickly and that. So.
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it, but if you want to add one person to what you're because you said you're thinking about one more person.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker.
There you go, Braun Breaker. Yeah.
He's main event ready. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
I think he's still trying to build a bump in the next.
They're currently it's got the Dusty Classics, so I don't know how long more that's going for him and Baron. Great team by the way as well. I don't know how long they'll go. So I've got CM Punk winning for 1 point as well. We've gone very similar in our picks. It's going to come down to the final 4 in that. Like this is we've all got
those extra points.
Those extra points, yeah, as well. Like this is it's going to come down to the wire. This as well. Okay, so my 3 surprise entrants as well. 2 I think will happen. 1 I don't think will happen, but I would love it if it happened. So my first that I think will definitely happen will be Andrade. He recently finished up in AEW, and has been
about him.
And then has been rumored to come back into the WWE. I think it'll be perfect, and that be interesting to see how they bring him in as well. Like I think he's a better heel than a face. I'd maybe see him teaming up with Santos and his group as well. I don't know how they want to do it and that. So I don't think he would be good. Maybe even have him team up with the Latino World Order. I don't know how they're going to go with it and that. So that would be my first surprise entrant in the Rumble. Another one, they've announced this every year on Twitter. Every year. I think will be X-Pac finally will return to the Rumble as well. As another surprise as well. I think X-Pac will return. And my personal, he recently signed a Legends contract with WWE. I would be so ecstatic if Ken Shamrock was to return even just for a little bit in WWE, and that one of the most underrated wrestlers in WWE that they did not get the best out of, and that. So those are my 3 surprises, and that. So yeah. So you're going to talk about what do you want to talk about?
I want to ask one question because since you said Ken Shamrock, I want to just ask you one question real fast about him to you.
Yeah.
If you want him to come back, What's the one match you want him? One opponent you want him to see him face then?
God,
Out of everybody.
if it had been 10, 15 years ago, I'd say Ken Shamrock versus Kurt Angle. I think they could, 10, 15 years ago, that could have been amazing, even a bit longer than that. But with the current wrestlers, just trying to think, maybe even Chad Gable would be really fun little thing as well. Like, Chad Gable has been really on fire in that, and the match he had with Gunther last year for the Intercontinental title was just amazing. It just shows how good it is. But probably he would be the first thing I think. Do you have anyone that you would want to see Ken Shamrock face? But he would be the first one that come to mind. So
there was one person that came to mind, but he's down at NXT, and that's Ilya Dragunov.
That's not bad.
I'm a huge fan of his.
I wouldn't even mind Ken Shamrock versus Pete Dunne. Thank you for returning Pete Dunne as well. No offense, no offense to Butch, but yeah. So, all right. Well,
Butch was like a watered down Pete Dunne.
Yeah. So, wow. So those are our predictions in that. So yeah, you said you wanted to add something before we head off as well.
Yeah, I wanted to add one thing because of the Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, Brock Lesnar. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's like everybody kept hearing about the rumors about Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania.
Yep.
And I see that being a more reality than just a fan fiction, because it's leaning more towards that direction. Gunther is talking more about social media during interviews that he wants to face him at Mania, but nobody says but what it's gonna do is it's gonna be for something that Brock has never attained in his WWE career, and that's the Intercontinental title. I see that being one of probably the match that steals the show, in my opinion.
If it does happen, we could talk about the matches and that, and then we might even do it before the eliminate what we think the WrestleMania matches will be for the next show and that. So, but yeah, I think out of all the matches Brock Lesnar could still have in WWE, because apparently it's either next year or the year after he might be retiring, and he'll go straight into the Hall of Fame as well. So
if there's you know how most wrestlers before they retire they do like a pass the torch style match.
Yeah, I think I completely agree.
I think he's gonna do that with Gunther.
How old is Gunther old?
I don't know.
Oh, if you can quickly, I would nearly check on my phone because I don't want to.
He is 2 years younger than me, so he is 36.
So yeah, he's got at least 10 more years in the he was in NXT for a long time as well. So I actually thought he was a bit older. So that's really I see the passing of the torch to him, and then Gunther will be the major boss in WWE, as they refer to Brock Lesnar. Well, that's all we've got time for. I've really enjoyed this, and it's gone a lot better than I thought it was. No offense to you as well, Legion. It's just us talking about wrestling for an hour. We could do it immediately off stream for however long, but it's just been really good to try this and figure out the bugs, and hopefully it'll come back bigger and better. And that's so.
I loved it.
Yep, I think it's been really amazing. I'll be watching the. Will you be watching the Rumble live?
I will.
I'll be streaming it here on my Twitch channel as well, so you guys can come in and have a look and see my reactions as well. Especially if MJF was up here in the run. I think, God, just thinking about it, MJF has become one of my favorite wrestlers as well over the year. Just him and Adam Cole in AEW has been amazing. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast, the very first podcast from me and Legion for the SLS Wrestling Podcast. I've really enjoyed it. We will return whenever the Elimination Chamber is. We'll return either on the Thursday or the Friday. Stay tuned to Twitter. If you guys, I don't want to. Actually, that will work. There's my Twitter as well. I'll put announcements in that in Discord as well, to know when I go live. But yeah, Legion, I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you again for making this really incredible. I've really enjoyed it. And I will see you, I don't know when I'll see you. Probably when my stream as well. You are going to come to my stream, aren't you?
Try to make it, yeah.
Just me, I was going to do the old Puss in Boots, big eyes, please. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Legion. I'm just going to put you on mute, and I'm going to head off and that. So
I just had one thing to say. If I don't make it, I just blame one person.
Just blame what?
Santos Escobar.
You've been waiting all stream to say that, haven't you?
I plead the fifth.
Thanks again, Legion. I will chat to you another time.
All right.
Later.
And later.
Let me get off that. Thank you, Legion. So what do you think, guys? What do you think about that? Thank you. I got the wrong just chatting again. Jesus Christ. I need to get rid of that as well. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Our predictions for the Rumble as well. We went over time, Legion. I think we went it was a couple minutes late on the timer. I think we went for an hour and 7 minutes as well. So, it really worked well with the timer and that. I was just looking down and that. So, really good. I enjoy that. I just can't believe how close we were in our predictions as well. Normally we have like one or two matches where we think, but I think this is more predictable and that. I was just really shocked that I don't know how we went last year, but we were one off with each of the final four as well. Like, I don't think we had that last year as well. So, but yeah, that's going to be it for me today as well. Thank you guys for joining me for the. It's the very first time where we have the same. Yeah, even the final four, like 3 of the 4 and that. So it's going to come down to those